Everyone deserves justice. This is my mission.
So we are now roughly 2 weeks away from the return of Season 7 of Arrow, and with that comes a new trailer for Season 7 Episode 10, which is now entitled My Name Is Emiko Queen. There has been some confusion around that title. It was originally called My Name Is Emiko Queen in a leak a few months ago, then it was changed to Shattered Lives in an attempt to avoid spoilers, and now it's been changed back again to My Name Is Emiko Queen. So that is the official name for the title, is My Name Is Emiko Queen, and it's going to be all about her. We're going to be delving into her story and how she's being involved in this season, in this episode, and that is incredibly exciting because I feel Emiko Queen and the whole new Green Arrow is the most exciting thing going into Season 7 now that the prison arc has now come to its conclusion. Before we dive into the breakdown of this trailer, I'd just like to mention a couple things up top. For one, I apologise for the lighting in this video. My big lamp in the main room here is gone, it's busted, so I don't have a main light, which is why there's a lot of shadows in the background going on, because I'm using my normal recording light with no other light going on, so it's really weird. I apologise for that. I'll try and fix that as quickly as I possibly can. And also I apologise for the lack of videos recently. You know, ever since I changed the channel to DC Central, I haven't really done much. I've just been figuring out, you know, different things for the channel, been trying to sort things out, you know, different styles, thumbnails, things like that. So, you know, that's why there hasn't been much content recently. It's just because I've been figuring things out, you know, ironing out the kinks. So anyway, with all that said, let's dive into the trailer breakdown for My Name Is Emiko Queen. So we open up with Emiko Queen inside of her own little version of the Arrow Cave, the bunker, the foundry, whatever you want to call it, her own little version of that, and she says the world is not a fair place, innocent people die, and the guilty get away with it, or the guilty go free. This is a very interesting entrance for Emiko Queen because we don't know what is going on with her yet. We don't know what she's doing. We know obviously she's operating in Star City as the Green Arrow. We know that she is the daughter of Robert Queen, but we still don't know what is going on with her story and why she's doing this, and I'll get onto that a little bit later. But it's interesting to say that, you know, she has such a, you know, firm judgment on vigilantism and also in regards to the justice system. She clearly believes that the justice system is not being effective. She believes that the justice system is not, you know, well instated enough to make sure that the criminals of Star City are getting put away, and she realizes this, and that's why she's taking matters into her own hands. And it's interesting to see that dynamic because obviously this is something that Oliver was so determined to do back in Season 1. Like, Emiko is honestly reminding me of Season 1 Oliver, except for obviously minus the killing, but I'm loving that about her. I like the fact that she's so dedicated and so determined to what she's doing, just like Oliver was back in Season 1. I think that's really, really interesting. So to see that here in this opening scene, we can see she has like a board with all the different things she's going after, all the different people on there. I think Diaz is on that board somewhere as well, which is interesting. So she's got a lot going on, and I think that's really interesting. But as I mentioned, what are her motivations? Why has she taken up the mantle of the Green Arrow? Obviously, we know that she is the half-sister of Oliver Queen. So, you know, could it just be that Oliver was in prison and she took over while he was there, but now he's back, she's still operating? So what's going on there? Why is she doing it? But also, it can't just be, oh, she's Oliver's half-sister and she took over. Like, she has experience, she has training, we can see that. She's of equal to Oliver, so how has she got that training? Where did she get that training from? You know, there are rumours that Malcolm Merlin's coming back later on in the season in flashbacks. Could have he played a part in this? How long did he know about Emiko Queen without telling Oliver? Like, there's so many questions coming into the season about Emiko Queen in terms of her origin, where she came from, who she is, where she got trained, is she involved in the League of Assassins? We don't know. We don't know where she came from, and I think that's really interesting. So, you know, could it be a link to Oliver? Maybe. Also, we know she's the daughter of Robert Queen, so, you know, Oliver's original motivation was to right the wrongs of Robert Queen. Is she doing a similar thing? Did Robert Queen have more fingers in other pies that we didn't know about? And is she kind of, you know, filtering out that and cleaning up the rest of the mess that Oliver eventually abandoned? Like, is that what's going on here? Like, is Robert Queen a link? Obviously, we saw her at the grave of Robert. She clearly has some kind of connection to her father, but we don't know what that is yet. And obviously in the very first episode of Season 7, before we knew the identity, we saw her cross names off a list. So she has a list, just like Oliver did in Season 1, which got me so excited when I saw that in the episode. So what is the list? Who is on that list? What does that list mean? Because obviously this surely is not the same list that Oliver had, because that was the list of names of, you know, Robert Queen's accomplices. So who are on this new list, and what does that list mean? What does it, accumulate to? There's so many questions about Emiko Queen and her motivations. I can't really pin it down. Like I say, that list is obviously connected in some way, but I think the real question is, what does that list actually mean? What is it going to be? Who's it connected to? Who are the names? And how are they relevant to her mission? We also get to see some more of her fighting. She says that everyone deserves justice, and obviously that is, again, a very true thing for a vigilante, and we get to see her taking out a few guys. And again, this does prove that Emiko Queen is an incredibly formidable fighter. She is somebody who is able to take down big groups of guys just like her brother, or her half-brother, Oliver. She has very much equal training to Oliver and is very much an equal to Oliver, and we saw that even in episode 8 of this season when her and Oliver kind of went up against each other for a little bit, and we kind of seen that she was able to outmatch him in some ways, which clearly shows she has very similar training to Oliver. So that does make you think she must be connected to the League of Assassins of some way. Obviously we know, like I say, Malcolm Merlin is incredibly heavily rumoured to come back for an episode later on this season. She must be connected to the same things. So again, that does just hint at some idea of what her origin could be. And we also see her interacting with Renee in this episode. We can see that the relationship between Emiko and Renee is something that they're clearly going to dive into and something that they are going to continue to develop with. Renee, out of everyone on the show, actually has the closest connection to Emiko, obviously outside of Oliver, but Oliver doesn't even know who this is at this point, whereas Renee has always had this connection with the new Green Arrow. Like, she's always kind of been there for him, and he's always been there for her, and he's always, stuck his neck out for her and always said, we shouldn't be taking down this person, they're clearly doing good. So clearly Emiko is kind of thankful to Renee for what he's done for her, in order to, defending her in the public and things like that. So clearly she is looking after Renee in some way, and Renee, really desperately wanting to get back into the vigilante game, clearly sees this as his way to get back in. He's saying, look, we have this new Green Arrow here, we have Emiko, let me help you. And we see him in his season 5 Wild Dog costume again, which is really cool, and we get to see him suiting up with her. So, is he trying to become her new sidekick? Like, we don't know, but we can see that the relationship between her and Renee is something that they're definitely going to continue to build on as the season goes on. I don't think it's a romantic thing. I don't think that's a romantic relationship. I don't think they're going to go down that route, but I just mean the relationship between the two characters, the professional relationship, is something that they are going to dive more into for the rest of season 7. Overall, this episode looks really fun, and I'm really excited just to dive into Emiko Queen. Like, I want to see more from her. I want to see what they're going to do with her. I really like the actress they've got to portray her, C. Shamuka. I think she's really awesome, and I really want to see what they're going to do with her, what her extensive role is in the series, like, because I'm pretty sure she's a series regular from this point on, so where's her story going to go, and how big of a role is she going to play in Arrow going forward? Will she appear in Season 8? Obviously, we don't know. How's that going to play in? Is she going to show up in the Flash Forwards? Obviously, the Flash Forwards are so integral to this season. We are expecting to see a future version of Renee in this episode, so we could see him maybe bring up about Emiko Queen. Like, if they have a very strong relationship, will he bring her up? And also, will her and Oliver eventually meet in this episode? Will the identity reveal come in this episode? We don't know yet, but I'm really excited to see what they can do with Emiko, because like I say, now that the prison arc has ended and it's concluded, for me, the most interesting thing about this season is Emiko Queen, and I'm fully prepared to dive into this storyline. So thank you guys for joining me on this episode of DC Central. If you want to see more DC related videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And if you want to see more from me, be sure to follow me on social media. My Twitter is on the side there, and make sure that you don't miss any more videos from DC Central.